For portraits, what should you Photoshop? A wee while ago I put up a video where I was telling people don't over-edit your photos. And in a lot of the cases I think that there are far too many photos which are uploaded or displayed where the portrait shots have just been over-edited and just like totally smoothed out, and it doesn't look like a human anymore. It looks more like an animated robotic computer simulation of a person rather than an actual photo of an individual. But what Photoshop or what editing should you do to a photo? That's a good question. It's like, well, Dom, how far should you take it? And for me, my advice to you would be only Photoshop things which are blemishes and transitionary. I don't know if that's the term, but you know, if you have a spot will go away. And a spot is a blemish. So if somebody has a big spot on their cheek, yeah, that's fine, take it away. Somebody has got a scar on their face, well, that scar is always going to be there. So I wouldn't ever Photoshop a scar out, unless they ask for it. If somebody has a birthmark, let's say they've got a big birthmark on their cheek, do you Photoshop that out? Absolutely not. I would say it's almost insulting that you should think that you should Photoshop something out, something which has been on somebody's face all their life and is going to be on their face all their life. What about noses? What about if somebody's got a big bump, big kind of ridge on their nose? Do you Photoshop that out? Again, absolutely not, unless the person asks you to. So, only things to Photoshop are things like wrinkly skin, but with that I would just say just calm down the wrinkles. Spots, definitely get rid of them. Veins in eyeballs, if you've got slightly bloodshot eyeball, yes, definitely Photoshop that out. Any mistakes in the makeup, let's say you've got a little bit of lipstick on the teeth, yes, definitely Photoshop that out. Any hair in the wrong position, yes. What about furriness? If you've got a model who's got a slightly peachy face, maybe a little bit of a, you know, face fur as it is. Again, if it's something which the person who looks in the mirror every day has never gone to the effort of trying to hide or have ever felt embarrassed about, or if, you know, if it's nothing that they see as an issue, then neither should you as a photographer. So if somebody does have a furry, peachy face, that's all I can really consider it, because I don't think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think some people just have furrier faces. We all have a little bit of fur coming out of our face. And certainly if you're shooting younger models, like the teenage age, girls generally do have a lot of fur on their face. It is just a furry thing. I don't know whether that's just in Scotland though, just because it's cold here. But again, it's something which you probably don't notice when you look straight at someone, but whenever you're zooming in one-to-one on a giant screen, you kind of go, oh, furriness, furriness, furriness. I think it's cute. I quite like it. I don't think it's an issue. But maybe if they've got a big mole with the hair coming out of it, again, if they haven't done anything themselves to remove that mole or that hair, and they haven't asked you specifically to hide it or reduce it or do anything with it, then the most I would do is make sure that the clarity and the sharpness around that area is a little bit lower than anywhere else. Other than that, no more editing I would do for any of the clients that I've ever shot with. There was a story recently in Britain where a school had a portrait session, or they're having all the school kids getting their photos taken, and the company that was shooting it photoshopped a birthmark out of a child's face, and the parents went mental about it. They were like, that's ridiculous, how dare you take the opportunity to just take away my child's birthmark. It's their birthmark, it's what makes them who they are. And that was a big kind of learning. Well, they said, oh, it was a mistake, we'd been asked by somebody else to edit their photo, and there's obviously just a simple clerical mistake, but I think they lost a lot of work from that. So again, that's the thing. When I say don't over-edit, edit as much as you want, change colours, change sharpness, change clarity, change brightness. hide spots, hide burst blood vessels, hide mistakes in makeup, but bits that make the person who they are and who they see themselves in the mirror every day, unless they ask for something specifically, never change it. That's my advice. Hope that helps. Cheers. Bye-bye.